So, you've decided to use or try out the Hubble Progressive Web app. In this video, you will learn everything you need to know to set up and customize your own Hubble instance. However, before we can start, a few requirements have to be met. Because Hubble is an interface for headless e-commerce platforms, we first need a platform to connect our app to. We assume that a suitable platform is already available. For our example, we use Shopware 6. All the information you need to set up Shopware 6 for use with Hubble can be found in the official documentation at docs.hubblecommerce.io. Hubble is a Nuxt 3 module, so we first need to create a Nuxt app. You can find the requirements in the official Nuxt documentation. Our Nuxt app is now ready. Next, we install the Hubble module as a dependency in our project. To do this, we go to the folder we just created and run npm install. Like every Nuxt module, Hubble must also be registered. To do this, we switch to our IDE and open the file nuxt.config.ts. We register the module by adding @hubblecommerce/hubble to the list of modules. The last thing we need to do is enter some API login credentials. To do this, we create an env file and fill it with the information about our platform. You can find out how to get which information in the Hubble documentation in the instructions of the respective platforms. We have now prepared everything to start our app for the first time. To do this, we switch back to the terminal and start our Nuxt app in developer mode by typing npm run dev. Under localhost on port 3000, we can view the page in a browser. Hubble offers a basic theme with the basic functions of an online shop. We now want to customize the looks of our project, so let's take another peek at the code. First, let's look at the project files. We can see the structure of a standard Nuxt 3 app. In addition, we see the .hubble folder. This folder is important for the file-based theme inheritance. This is how it works. The Hubble PWA module sets the .hubble folder as the base for our Nuxt application. After that, all files supplied by the module are copied from the node modules folder into the .hubble folder. Finally, all relevant files from the base directory of our app are also copied into the folder. Files with the same path are overwritten by our project files. Since the .hubble folder is automatically created while the Nuxt app is being built, we do not need to make any adjustments to this folder and do not need to version it. Therefore, it is best to include it directly in the .gitignore file. We also notice the file app.view in the base directory. The Hubble module already creates some important routes in the pages folder, including an index.view for the start page. This makes the app.view redundant, so we can simply delete it. It's finally time to make our first optical changes. Conveniently, the well-known framework Tailwind CSS is already pre-installed in the base theme. So, first we create a tailwind.config.ts file in the base directory of our app. Here we can now carry out all the known configurations in the Tailwind CSS. In addition to Tailwind CSS, the component library Daisy UI is pre-installed. For assistance with theme configuration with Daisy UI, there is the theme generator. Here we can determine the color scheme of our shop. Now, we only need to copy the configuration into our tailwind.config.ts file. To load the new configuration, we restart the app. And we can already see how the appearance of our app has changed. The base theme of the Hubble PWA module is completely based on the utility classes of Tailwind CSS and Daisy UI. For additional CSS, you can use the assets/CSS folder. To do this, we copy it from the .hubble folder into the base directory of our app. Let's take a look inside. Here is the Tailwind CSS file. This file is the starting point for the CSS. Please note that the order of the imports is important so that CSS override works with the help of utility classes. You can see the file custom p.css is imported here. In this file, we can write our own CSS. For example, to adjust the global styling of a Daisy UI component. Let's say we want to change the color and the border of the primary button. We can do that by overriding the corresponding class and changing it with the apply directive. Immediately, we see in our app how the changes are applied. But we all know, exceptions prove the rule. So, what do we have to do if, for example, we only want a certain primary button to look different? For this, we can override the CSS classes directly in the template. Let's see how we do this. First, we need to identify the component we want to edit. The DevTools implemented in Next 3 help us do this. The DevTools offer an Inspect View Components mode. This makes it easy to find the view components of the app in the code. Simply hover over the location and click. The corresponding component opens in our IDE. Now we know where we can edit the code. But before we can do that, we need to overwrite the file we want to change. As we learned earlier in this video, we use the file-based inheritance process to do this. We copy the file from the .hubble folder to the base directory of our app, keeping the path of the file. In this case, we copy the index view from the pages folder. To do this, we create a pages folder in our base directory, and there we add the index view. Now we can customize the overwritten file according to our needs. In this way, all the files of the base theme can be overwritten and changed. For the communication with the platform and for the further business logics of the application, the Hubble PWA module brings many useful helper functions. These are structured with the composables introduced in View 3. The composables all work alike with respect to the connected platform. A component uses a function of a composable. This function uses the API client of the platform and maps the data structure to the data types of the Hubble PWA module. Let's look at an example of this. To load the current shopping cart, you can use the useCart composable. This provides the function getCart. We can find the corresponding file in the composables folder. The function getCart calls the corresponding function from the API client. The result from the platform is mapped to the data format of the Hubble PWA module. Helper functions can be used for this purpose. The mapping functions and the composables are defined with TypeScript. The type definitions and the mapping functions are located in the utils folder and can be overwritten and customized via the file-based overwrite process. Thanks for watching our introduction to the Hubble Progressive Web App. We hope you enjoy customizing your own instance.